Welcome to the Sports Edition on your news at night. You are with Jacob and Colette. Happy Hump Day.
Getting through the week. But speaking of getting through,
we have one way of getting through very, very easily, and that is a big game tonight.
Toronto versus Montreal. The biggest game so far this season in the Northern Division. We have Toronto, who's currently first in the division. Montreal, who's close behind them in second. These next two games could really decide who's going to pull away in this division.
Absolutely. Now, I know we talked before the show started, like, who do you predict to win? But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm choosing the Leafs. I would not go against the Leafs. And, we'll just leave it at that because I want to drink some. What do you think?
I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be interesting to see.
That's a non-response.
As Travis Dermott is back from injury, so he's going to slide into the third pairing with Zach Bogosian. I'll be curious to see if the Leafs run 7 defensemen or not, as they've been doing the past few games.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they don't. I think it was kind of screwing up the line combinations a bit.
Okay.
But Dermott's looking to break back into the lineup, and he needs to play well as he's competing for that 6th spot.
Yeah.
And for someone who doesn't have a point yet as a puck-moving defenseman in 9 games, as you'll see on the graphic, it's a toss-up whether he's going to keep getting the ice time or not.
How do you feel about Simmons sitting out this game against the Canadiens?
That's going to hurt the Leafs.
I think so too. Yeah,
I think Simmons is a very energetic player, and I think the Leafs are going to have to try to find a way to bring that energy up.
Yeah, they are. They are.
And the Leafs, I think, for their keys to win is going to be obviously have high energy. Smart plays out of their own zone. That's been a big thing for them this season. They've been really good at moving the puck well.
This year.
But they didn't do the best job against Vancouver with it through the first 2 periods. So I want to see that improved. I want to see a full 60 minutes, so start on time, as former coach Mike Babcock, that was his favorite saying. The Leafs need to make sure they start on time, and they need to make sure they play that full 60 minutes.
Absolutely.
Even with Wayne Simmons out, I want to see depth scoring tonight, because Montreal does a good job at shutting down star players. So Matthews and Marner aren't going to have the open ice they would against other teams. And Anderson's got to be solid.
Yes, well, Anderson will be solid. I know he will be, right, Anderson? Okay, let's move on from the Leafs because we don't want to jinx this game anymore. Oh, unless you want to talk about the Habs.
I do want to talk about the Habs.
Okay, fine.
You know,
you've got 30 seconds to
have to get some duct tape over this woman here. The Habs to win, they need to play the Leafs hard. I'm talking fort checks. They need to be hitting them hard. Need to make sure they have no easy shifts. They need to shut down Matthews and Marner, which that's a very tough task.
Yep.
I think Montreal wants to keep this a low-scoring game. As much as they do have offensive talent, I think if you go goal for goal, Toronto would edge the Habs.
Yes.
But I think for Montreal, they want to try to play a defensive game, and Montreal's top 6 forwards needs to try to outperform the Leafs' top 6 forwards.
I'm going 4-2 Leafs.
I'm saying 2-1 Leafs.
Okay.
I think it's going to be really low scoring. I think both goalies are going to play really strong.
All right, but that 4th goal, just so you know, will be an open netter because Montreal's going to try and win. Anyways, off to the court. Let's talk Raps. A swish. What's going on?
So the Raptors, they're in a weird spot currently.
Okay.
They're 8th in the conference, which means they would be in the playoffs as of right now, but they're kind of hovering between 8th and 10th. So we talked yesterday how Lowry has his house up for sale, and people are worried that Lowry's being moved. There is another rumor going on. Either Lowry's going to be moved, or the Raptors are going to go get a star center. Drummond's been coming in the conversation a lot for the Cavaliers. He is a monster when it comes to rebounds, which is something the Raptors have been struggling with all season since they lost Gasol and Ibaka. I think Drummond would be a perfect fit for this team. I mean, I think you're going to have to give up a decent amount for him, but that's a move I'd like to see Toronto do. I'm really hoping they don't blow this team up. It's like Lowry's almost at retirement. I think the way he's been dedicated to this city, unless he wants to leave to try to win another championship, I hope they keep him.
Okay.
And we still try to build around him because the team's still pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, it would be also awesome if he just retired with a Raptors jersey around his
I would
body,
love that. He's really... Would you think Toronto Raptors, who's the first player you think of now?
Yeah, of course.
It's Kyle Lowry.
Of course.
It's not Vince Carter anymore.
No, back in the day.
It's Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, yeah.
So I really hope the Raptors make another big move and try to push. Because the team is still pretty solid. As much as they've had a shaky season, they've also have not been able to play at home this year, which I think is really hurting the team. Because for them, it's not like they have a home court advantage the way other teams do. They're playing in Tampa, which has got to feel kind of weird to them.
Okay.
As Kawhi Leonard said he didn't want to play in cold Toronto. Now they're in Tampa. Little ironic.
Yeah, I know. The holy eyeball roll to him. But anyway, yeah. Well, see you later, right?
Pretty much.
We showed the video yesterday of our TSN great sportscaster and his sad farewell to those who were laid off and fired. So we've heard of more layoffs. You want to tell everybody about that?
So TSN Media has laid off everyone from TSN 1040 Vancouver, TSN 1150 Hamilton, and TSN 2090 Winnipeg.
Okay.
What really blows my mind on this, Bell Media was just given $122 million by the federal government to keep payroll. Oh. And now all of a sudden they're laying off all the staff.
Very weird.
Especially, too, a lot of the people who have been laid off, they've been tweeting, including Dan O'Toole and many others, saying Bell Media talks about Bell Let's Talk Day and mental health, to then go back during a very hard time for people, laying a whole bunch of people off and cutting a bunch of jobs.
Which was kind of around the time of Bell Let's Talk Day, was it not?
Yes, Bell Let's Talk Day was
the 26th, I believe, or something like that. Yeah.
Pretty recently. So, I mean, I can understand why people from Bell Media are very upset. Oh, I guess former Bell Media are very upset. And stay tuned with us because we're going to keep you updated on that one.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Good. Okay, you want to talk the Penguins for a little bit?
Interesting thing enough, so after Jim Rutherford...
Old names are popping up on this one, eh?
It is. After Rutherford was forced to step down, Ron Hextall has been hired as GM. And funny enough, we were talking about Brian Burke yesterday,
Yes, we
Mr.
were.
Angry.
Mr. Angry Eyes.
He's off the desk and back to a new desk. He's going to be the hockey operations for Pittsburgh.
He's, as much as I enjoyed him with the Leafs, don't get me wrong. I think he was a very disciplined part of the team, but he knows his hockey. He knows his stuff. And if you ever watched him analyze the game and predict games and just talk about the passing and everything, he's always on point. So really smart move.
I think for Pittsburgh, this is really smart because I don't think this team's ready to blow up yet. No. I think as long as Crosby and Malkin and Letang are playing at a high level, they need to try to win a cup.
Those are three huge names.
Those are arguably the three best players in the NHL. Yeah, you could argue any given night that any of those are three of the best players. So I think for Pittsburgh, that's why they wanted to change direction in the front office, as the old front office wanted to make trades. They almost traded Letang, and that's what got Rutherford out the door. Okay. So it'll be interesting to see what Pittsburgh does. I watch for them to make a couple big moves closer to trade deadline.
Of course, they're the Pittsburgh Penguins. Okay, yesterday we talked about the CFL and we mentioned the Edmonton, I think should be Eagles, you think should be the Elks. What's up today in the CFL, the Canadian Football League?
The Toronto Argos, my team, go Argos.
What? Whoa, I'm a Hamilton Tiger Cat fan.
Well, go home.
This guy, I tell you, first he talks about Ottawa Senators, now he's a Toronto Argonauts fan. Okay, go on. Argos, what did they do?
They just signed veteran running back John White to a one-year contract. Okay. This is a big signing for the Argos as they struggled with their running game last season. I think this is really going to fix the running game this season. Last season, he had career highs with 104 rushing yards with only 192 carries and 7 touchdowns along with that. He also had 341 reception yards with 46 receptions. So, I think he's going to be a big part of this Toronto team. Okay. I think Toronto might be the biggest spender in the CFL this season because they have the funding to back it up because they're owned by Toronto Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. Yeah. So where other CFO teams are struggling financially, the Argos can max the cap. Yes. So watch for them to have a very, very good season this year.
Okay, and watch for them when they lose against the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
You mean when they win?
We do have to get back to news, but Jacob, why don't you tell them about our 7:05 sports news?
So just to let everyone know, I know you guys have been watching us during the news at night. This was like a little pilot program for us. We're still going to be keeping news at night with sports, but we're also going to be doing a weekly half-hour show called 7:05 Sports. I'm really excited to be bringing local and national sports back to Sault Ste. Marie and giving them amazing full coverage.
Awesome. So we'll have lots of Sioux Greyhounds and we'll do all that. And of course, we're going to have some soccer for you because that's my sport. I guess I should get back to news.
Yeah, I'd say you should. So Colette will be with you with more news right after this.